Greetings, loved ones. The impact of grooming can impact a person long after they leave childhood behind. Today we're going to discuss how to protect your child from sexual predators. Help us get these messages out, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and hit that like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others. So let's discuss how to protect your child from sexual predators. As I said, the impact of grooming can impact a person long after they leave childhood behind. According to the UK-based National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, people who were groomed as children are more at risk for experiencing mental health struggles like anxiety, PTSD, and suicidal ideation. They may experience relationship difficulties throughout their lives and struggle with chronic feelings of guilt and shame. If you are a parent or guardian, the thought of someone harming your child might feel anxiety-provoking, and it might be tempting to think, well, I guess I just can't trust anyone. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, it's true there are predators out there looking to harm children, and it's important to look out for the signs, but it doesn't mean there aren't people you can trust with caring for your children. So let's discuss a few important things you can do to protect a child in your life. The goal isn't to live in fear, but to be prudent about who spends time with your child. So number one, know the signs of grooming and child abuse. If you are a parent or guardian, watching and hearing this teaching, you're already taking an important step in protecting your child. Educating yourself on the signs of grooming can help you spot potentially dangerous behavior. In addition, knowing how a child can act because of child abuse is also important. Though these signs can be hard to identify at times, according to RAINN, some common classic warning signs include shrinking away from physical contact, age-inappropriate sexual behavior, regressive behavior like thumb-sucking, and changing hygiene routines. And number two, you need to talk to your child about safety. Talk to your children about personal boundaries. For example, explain what kind of touching is okay and what isn't. For a creative way to broach this topic, check out the NSPCC's PANTS rule, P-A-N-T-S. P, privates are privates. A, always remember your body belongs to you. N, no means no. T, talk about secrets that upset you. And S, speak up, someone can help. PANTS. In addition to in-person safety, talk to your child about online safety and monitor their internet usage. One of the best ways to keep your child safe is to grow an open and honest relationship with them so that if someone does violate their boundaries, they will be able to identify it and come and talk to you about it. Number three, trust your gut. If you get a weird feeling about an adult in your life, trust your gut. Limit time your child spends with that adult and never allow them to be alone with your child. I'm going to insert something here. It is important that you take precautions and think about who you allow to spend time with your child. Remember, predators are normally people the child knows, so it might be a teacher, it might be a coach, it might be a family friend, it might be a neighbor, it might be a family member. So be very careful about whom you allow to take your child somewhere alone. Worst case scenario, you remove your child from a harmless situation. Best case, you protect your child from an incredibly damaging one. Number four, report it. If you suspect a child is being abused, report it. You can call or text the Child Help National Abuse Hotline at 1-800-422-4453. That'll be here on the screen. It'll also be in the description. Or see where to report in your state by visiting RAINN's state law database, and that is included in the description. It can be emotionally difficult to report, but it's important to remember your actions could help protect a child who cannot protect him or herself. And I'm going to insert something else here. Many times, churches, daycare centers, and other places, schools, sporting groups, they run criminal records checks on everybody who works with your children so that they know that the person that they have around children is a safe person. Now that's great. However, because people don't report when they find a predator in their church, in their program, in their school, they usually want to push them out quietly and get rid of them. By doing that, the reason they do that is because they're afraid of how their supporters or members or whomever is going to think badly of them because they had a predator in their presence. But the truth of the matter is, and we had a situation like this where a predator friended us, had a ministry of his own, which wasn't even a real ministry, we later discovered. And he was a predator, and my board initially said to me, oh, we need to get rid of contact with him. I said, no, we need to take him down. So what you need to be known for, not is that you don't have predators and keeping it secret if you encounter one and just want to push him out. You need to be known for taking them down. Because they will look for ways to be near children. And we've talked about this in other episodes. And this is so important. This is the biggest problem we have. Those criminal records checks aren't valid if nobody's ever reported it before. Because we've had times where there's a predator, this one I was speaking about was a predator at a camp, and the camp pushed him out. And then he was a predator at another program in a church, and they pushed him out. And then he came to Honduras, and he was a predator in a church in Honduras, and they pushed him out. And then he created a fake ministry and was using that to have access to children, to abuse children, and nobody ever reported him the times before that. If the camp had reported him and taken him to court, he'd have it on his criminal record, and he would never have been able to abuse in the church in the States, come to Honduras and abuse in a church here, or then create a program. If at any point they had reported it and given it to the authorities to investigate and prosecute, it would be on his criminal records check. And so many times churches and programs and people are afraid we don't want anyone to know this happened here. The thing is, you need to be known for taking them down. If we find one, and I'm really serious here, and I'm looking at you. If we find one, we're going to take him down. If someone befriends me or befriends my ministry and starts to help us, and I find that they're a predator, I will take them down so they can't go and do it again somewhere else. And the thing is this, if you do not do this, every time this predator abuses afterwards, it's on you. It's like the blood is on your hands because you didn't report it. We're required by law to report it, and we're required by God to report it. Let that sink in. According to the CDC, over half of all children in the world, that's 1 billion children, ages 2 to 17 years, experience violence every year. So the question is not if you'll encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is what will you do when you do encounter them? If you don't report them, you're committing a sin. You're violating the law. You could be the person who saves a life. Micah 6:8 says, He has showed you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? Keyword, require. And the first one is to do justice. To love mercy and walk humbly with your God. To do justice. That's the first one. You are called. We are all called to be champions for justice. And if you're a victim, I want you to know there's a way out. It is not your fault. Abuse is not love. And most of all, you're not alone. If you're suffering violence, reach out to someone today. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 for help. And if you know of a child or another person suffering violence, tell the authorities. In our next episode, we will discuss grooming and red flag behaviors. Until then, God bless you.